Hello and welcome to my channel. I am USA Today bestselling author Jennifer L. Hart, and this is my newsletter slash Facebook Q&A session. So I am here to answer all of the burning questions that you have sent me over the last month and a half. So let's get started. This is from the newsletter, and when somebody writes for my newsletter, I'm just going to say newsletter because a lot of the times they don't sign their names or, so privacy. Just going to say newsletter. And the question is, how do you keep all your characters quiet while you write? Do you sometimes have a problem with characters from one series yammering while you're writing another series? So the second question, yes, I definitely have yammering going on. So how do I keep them quiet is, what I've learned over the years is that I shouldn't try, because when your imaginary friends stop talking to you, that's known as writer's block, and we don't want that to happen. So when they're yammering, and I love that word, by the way, yammering, that's my word of the day. I like to maybe hash out a scene, or just go with the flow, find out what they want to say and write it down, because I can always use it later. All right. Next question is, Dammy from Facebook writes, I'm amazed and a tad bit envious by your writing speed. Dog interruption. There goes Beans. Okay. I'm amazed and a tad bit envious by your writing speed and your ability to develop a cohesive story so fast. When you're starting a new series, what comes first, the characters or the plot? What do you do if/when you get writer's block? Okay, so we already talked about writer's block, which is when the imaginary friends stop talking to us. And thank you very much for the compliment. I'm glad you think that I write fast. I feel that there are plenty of people that write a lot faster than I do, so it's always something that I'm trying to improve, and I'm glad that I can feel the need for books, and that just sounded dirty. Okay. Anyhow, back to the point. When I'm starting a new series, what comes first, character or plot? It's always character. I never start with the plot. In fact, most of my plots are shoestrung, I guess is the best way to put it, shoestrung together. So it's always about, for me, it's goal, motivation, conflict. Who is the character? What do they want? What's keeping them from getting it? And that's how I tend to structure my books. So I hope that answers that question. Okay, and the next one is, okay, thank you for being an advocate for MS. How did you become one? Okay, so MS, multiple sclerosis, and as you can see, I have some of my books lined up behind me, the Which Way series and the new series that's Cougars and Cauldrons, feature characters with multiple sclerosis. And I signed up with the National MS Society to become an advocate and to share stories and things happening within the community to kind of raise awareness for multiple sclerosis. And this is because that 3 relatives that I know of have to date been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So it's a pretty strong hereditary connection, and my mother most notably had MS for most of my childhood. So yeah, I just signed up on the website and said, yeah, I would love to, share. And so I get a newsletter, and anytime there's a vote or anything that would impact MS, I will, usually post something on Facebook or Instagram, and sometimes, send out stuff in the newsletter. And I obviously donate to the National MS Society. So that's pretty much the how. Okay. Lisa from Facebook asks, which out of all your books that you've written is your favorite? And what's the best book that you've read this year? Okay, so for the first one, which is my favorite? The next one. And I'm not going to give you a title because it just means the next one. There goes the dog the other way. I enjoy the writing and the discovering portion, and it's always my favorite when it's right in front of me, with the exception of book 3s in the series, because book 3s tend to fight back a little bit, and I usually have a bunch of new ideas and I'm ready to move on. So like a book 3, is usually it's more a labor of love and heavy on the labor. Okay, and the best book I've read this year, that would be this one. So that's The Change by Kristen Miller. It's very much like what we've been writing with paranormal women's fiction, except this is a mainstream novel, and I really enjoyed a lot of the descriptions and like these really felt like real people in a lot of ways. So yeah, I really did enjoy that book. And if you're a mystery lover, it's definitely got the mystery elements, and it's got that like paranormally light type of feeling. So highly, highly recommend it. Definitely best book of 2022 so far. Okay, next question. Newsletter. Will there be more Laundry Hag books soon? No. That's the plain truth. I am no longer writing straight up mysteries without the paranormal element. I am writing the midlife books because that's where my interest lies right now. And honestly, if you look at my reviews on Goodreads, my newer stuff is rated a lot higher than my older stuff. And going back to the Laundry Hag at this point in time is not the direction I want to take things. So no, I'm not going to be doing any more Laundry Hag in the near future. Newsletter. How often, if ever, do you put your audiobooks on sale? Okay, so this is probably a good question to, kind of let like awareness of this. When it comes to ebook prices and print book prices, I have control over that. But when it comes to audio, especially on Audible, I don't control the price at all. So Audible tends to put books up for like however long they are. That's like the price. That's why you'll see some for like $14.95, and then they have their whole credit system. So I have like no control over that. That's nothing I can do. When it comes to like, I've had some of the my older books, like the Pasta Shop series recently was on sale on Chirp. That one I can control. That's a different thing altogether. And typically I put it on sale whenever I get a promotion. So, usually you'll see a sale maybe twice a year. I'll have stuff like steeply discounted. So that's all about audiobooks. Newsletter. How long does it take you to write a book? Again, it does depend on the book. I have been aiming for about 3 chapters a week, and with 21 chapters, we're looking at about 7 weeks. And that does not include early plotting or, things that run into. I like to give myself a full 3 months from like start to finish with a project. And sometimes they go a lot faster, which is why you've seen, this year, like specifically those books right there, the Cougars and Cauldrons series have, both of them had September release dates, and I got book 1 out May 1st, and book 2 is coming out on August 1st. So, yeah, I'm like, sometimes I'm a little bit faster than I think I'm going to be. But, yeah, I like to try to, like, budget 3 months. If I can go faster, or, sometimes I'll sneak a smaller project in there. Like I just finished Which Way to Alaska, which was the story of Maeve and Cal going to Cal's brother's wedding in Alaska. And it was just a short, and I was able to fit that in between finishing book 2 of Cougars and Cauldrons and starting my new project, which is coming up in August, which is Jingle All the Which Way. So that's the Silver Sisters book 4. Newsletter. How do you keep motivated when you have a whole book ahead of you and are just starting? Okay, there were a lot of questions with this particular email, so I will take these one at a time. And that's pretty much the answer to the question as well. How do I keep going motivated when I'm just starting? How do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time, right? So you just got to keep going in there, and sometimes I get really stuck. And when I get really stuck, what'll happen is that I'm turning over a plot point, and if I can't move forward at all, if I can see no way forward, usually that means I have to go back, that I took a wrong turn, that, something happened somewhere along the lines that it's just not going to hold up. And then, sometimes it's just my imaginary friends are mad at me and they stop talking, so I need to go figure out what made them mad and fix it. Okay. Next part of the question was, what books did you read as a child/teen that inspired you to want to be an author? I think pretty much anybody of my era would probably say the same thing, but it was The Babysitter's Club by Anne M. Martin was like the one that really kind of like jumps to mind. She was funny, and those characters were very, very real. And I mean, now they're like remaking it into Netflix series and everything. So, yeah, I would say, we all kind of want to have that. When you have the writing bug, you say, okay, these characters are so real to me. I want to create stories that are that real for other people. Which of your book series was the most difficult to write, and which is the easiest? Okay, so most difficult. Oh, book 3. Pick a series, any series. I would say book 1s are always the easiest, and it's because I'm ready. It's new, it's fresh, it's exciting. I have the plot, I have the characters, forward march. And this is why I said my favorite is always the next one, because I love that discovery. And book 2 lets you go a little bit deeper in with the characters. You find out more things, some surprises. By book 3, I feel like I've already said almost everything I want to say for these people, and I want to stop torturing them because, conflict you're always going to have. Everybody says they want to have those books that are just feel-good books, right? And that you just love it and you want to read all about these people and these characters nonstop. But the problem with that is there's no action, and that's really boring. We want to have that in our regular lives, but in books it just doesn't work. So, yeah, I would say there's not really one particular series that was, like, overly difficult, but getting to book 3 in the Sleuthing series, getting to book 3 in the Pasta Shop series, it was like, I'm done. There were actually times where I would type, and then they died, the end, and, that it was cathartic, but, I had to actually finish the book. Okay. When did you know that you were going to make it as an author, i.e. going to be able to do this full-time and make a living? I don't know. Have I made it? Again, that's... For me personally, that like, have I made it kind of feeling, it's like, I don't know, authors in general, we tend to have imposter syndrome. We feel like we're just like playing a game, and that one of these days somebody's going to call us out, and it's like, oh no, you're not there yet. So I guess for me, it really is like, I'm very fortunate because this is my full-time job. I actually support my whole family and my dog, who likes to interrupt, during my writing or with my writing, and that's just a great, incredible thing. But like, there was never really a like, I'm there, I've made it, kind of thing. I think a lot of people are confused about that. They think that when they start writing, they say, oh, if I just get to this point, if I just get to this number, if I just, but things change and things shift, and I'm in this for the long haul. I've been doing this for 11 years now, so. But that's the end of my question list. Thank you all so much for sending in your questions and for, watching this video and hearing my answers. And so remember, book 2, Cougars and Cauldrons, Midlife Hexes, Familiar Exes, comes August 1st now. All loaded up, ready to rock. See you soon.